prone to frequent flooding. If you're driving, do not stop the car. Instead, slowly drive through the flooded area without stopping.
What should we do once the rain stops?
When going into buildings that have been submerged, do not touch electrical facilities and make sure to ventilate, as there is a risk of gas leakage.
We should also reduce preventable damages and prepare for disasters ahead of time by following safety guidelines.
That is correct. You can receive real-time safety information through the Disaster Safety Information mobile app, 안전 디딤돌.
Thank you for all the great information. Remember, your safety is everyone's safety. This campaign is brought to you by BEFM 부산 영어방송.
The time is now 7 o'clock.
South Korea is well known for a lot of things. And, whether it's K-pop, K-food, K-beauty, it's all soft power. But what about K-education? Well, the enthusiasm for education here domestically, we know it's pretty high. But how do Korean universities do compared to other universities around the world? In a keynote speech yesterday at a global education conference, this was in Seoul, by the way, Jerome Princeton, the executive director for APAC at QS. You've heard of QS, the global higher education analytics firm. Well, he said that limited research networks and lagging progress by Korean universities are keeping them behind their Asian rivals. So, yes, Korea is famous, or some might say infamous, for education fervor. And the question is, though, for students who choose to pursue higher education, meaning going to college or university, are domestic universities, institutions doing enough to help them stay competitive in the real world after graduation? I'm Catherine. This is Morning Wave in Busan on Thursday, September 18th on BEFM 부산 영어 방송. Good morning, Wavers. I hope you're all doing well on this rainy Thursday. So I talked about K-education, and we're going to talk a little bit about something related to that later on, but for younger kids, completely different. In the meantime, let's talk about something else that is equally important. And you might think, it's not really glamorous or exciting, but it's crucial nonetheless. I'm talking about fiscal health. The national debt, things like that. Well, South Korea's gross domestic product to debt ratio is at the highest level it's ever been, and that's according to the Bank for International Settlements, or BIS, 국제결제은행. So this GDP to debt ratio, so in Korean that would be GDP 대비 정부 부채 비율, that came to 47.2% at the end of the first quarter of the year. So this means that for South Korea, it hit the 40% mark during the COVID pandemic in 2020. And it's been going up, seeing a big jump this year. It's the first time since record-taking began that this debt ratio reached 47%. The BIS estimated South Korea's government debt at 1,212 trillion won, or in US dollars, that's $822.2 billion. And the bad news is this ratio is likely to increase. This is because nominal GDP growth has been more or less stalled due to the economy. And on top of this, the Lee Jae-myung administration is increasing government spending to help with demand, but with a bit of not such great news. I'm going to deliver some kind of good news. South Korea's GDP to debt ratio is relatively lower compared to the other major economies. So we are standing at 18 out of the 28 OECD member nations that the BIS calculated. Japan's GDP to debt ratio stands at 200%, and Greece, Italy, the US, and France at all over the 100% ratio. So, this is a statement about what the global economy looks like even for the world's richest countries. As Bank of Korea Governor Lee Chang-yong said, government spending does have to play a certain role in this economy. But the key is for how long this could go on. So timing, it seems, is everything. So we'll keep our eyes out on the country's fiscal health. So that means, financial health. All right. Now we are going to talk about something much lighter. Claw machines. What am I talking about? Have you ever successfully gotten a prize out of a claw machine? So be honest, how much have you spent at any given moment or just like in one, outing? How much have you spent on one of these machines? 나는 인형 뽑기 해본 적 있다. 성공해본 적 있다. 그게 정말, that's the question, right? Have you been able to grab one of those stuffed animals or one of those prizes. 그리고 얼마까지 인형 뽑기에서 보셨는지도 궁금합니다. This is very much connected with a story we're going to be talking about in hour number 2. All right, send in your responses to BFM's live stream live chat on YouTube. Go to the YouTube platform, type in BEFM or Busan 영어 방송 to find our channel, and then you can log in and chat with our other waivers. Also, from your phone, pound 9050, shop 9050. That's going to cost you 101. You can also reach me for free through Kakao Talk. So same thing there. You got to find us first. BEFM 부산 영어 방송. Type that in and then add us as a friend. And you can send in your messages and photos as well. You can listen to Morning Wave in Busan in various ways. If you're in Busan, turn on the radio, 90.5 or 103.3 FM, depending on where you are in Busan. Like I said, we're streaming live on YouTube right now. You can watch again at your leisure. And we're available on the BEFM app and also the Patbang app. And let's look ahead to our Thursday morning together. So first up, we have in hour number 1, Ask Dr. Ryu with Dr. Ryu Sang-hyo. And then in hour number 2, we have Vasana with Buzz Breakdown. For a special interview today, we're going to tackle something that is serious. Yes, we're going to talk about school, but we're talking about the alarming rise of school violence. I mean, you may have seen some of the recent figures, right? The numbers. We're going to try to find out why it seems that physical abuse, but also verbal abuse is becoming more common. With our expert, that's coming up in hour number 2. I'll be back with news overview. It's now 7:07 and this is News Overview. Supreme Court Chief Justice denies and speaks out about political accusations. Supreme Court Chief Justice Cho Hee-jae categorically denied the Democratic Party or DP's accusations that he discussed President Lee Jae-myung's case with former Prime Minister Han Duck-soo or any outsider in a statement yesterday. President Lee Jae-myung and U.S. President Donald Trump likely to meet at Gyeongju APEC Summit. The acting U.S. ambassador to South Korea said that U.S. President Donald Trump is expected to travel to South Korea and meet with President Lee Jae-myung at the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation known as APEC, the summit in Gyeongju this fall. Unification Church leader Han Hak-ja appears for questioning. The leader of the Unification Church, Han Hak-ja, appeared in front of the special counsel yesterday to answer questions on bribery allegations surrounding former First Lady Kim Gun-hee and People Power Party lawmaker Kwon Sung-dong. Police arrest suspect in Jongmyo Shrine damage case. The police have arrested a man in his 50s as a suspect who allegedly damaged parts of the wall of UNESCO heritage Jongmyo Shrine. Fed lowers rates by 0.25%. The U.S. Federal Reserve has decided to cut its benchmark interest rate by 0.25%, marking the first rate cut in the new Trump administration, hinting at 2 more cuts this year. And this was News Overview. It's time for Now Busan, and we have Sejin in the studio. Let's say hi first. Good morning.
Morning.
Yes. So I want to know about your claw machine experience. Are you good at it?
I won't go extra mile for me to use it. I have someone who can do it for me.
Oh, really?
Yes. I was walking down, and then my friend, he was like, I can pick it up. I can pick some dolls for you. Do you like it? And I thought, oh, he's just showing off. I didn't believe it. And then he just used 1,000 won, 1,000 won, and then pick it right away. And I was
Really?
like, yeah, that's really impressive.
I wonder how much you practiced and spent to get to that level. I'm just saying, you know.
Yeah.
Wow, because I'm so bad at it.
But also, I have a friend who learned how to pick very way from the YouTube.
There are tutorials on that?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, there are tutorials for everything, even the claw machine. Well, thanks for sharing. We're going to jump into our first story. I hear Busan is rolling out another round of coupons, right?
Yes. Busan City will be distributing the second round of livelihood recovery consumption coupons worth 100,000 won per person starting on the 22nd.
Right. So I do want to make sure that no one is confused. This is like along with the national government. It's all the same thing. It's not a second like additional from the city. So who exactly can apply for these coupons?
Everyone except the top 10% of the high-income households.
Okay.
To qualify, your June health insurance premium needs to be under the set limit for your household size. But if your household's taxable property value is over 1.2 billion won or your financial income is more than 20 million won last year, then you are excluded,
Okay.
regardless of your insurance premiums.
And how do people check to see if they're eligible?
Starting on 22nd, people can check their eligibility through the National Health Insurance Service,
Okay.
the card company's website, administrative welfare centers, or even at banks. Busan residents can apply either online or offline, and adults apply individually. But for minors, the head of household has to apply for them.
Yes.
Application period is until October 31st, and the first week of application is based on your last digit of your year of birth.
And once you go through the whole process and you're eligible, you're approved, how can people get the funds?
It works the same way as the first round. You can choose to receive it as credit or debit card point, a prepaid card, or as community gift certificate.
I see. So once again, that is starting on the 22nd. That's coming up real soon. All right, next up, let's talk about something related to vacant homes.
Yes, Busan City has launched a vacant house one-stop counseling center to deal with vacant houses. It's to help owners who might otherwise leave their houses vacant because of tax issues, remodeling costs, or demolition problems.
Yes.
And this is one-stop service that goes beyond simple guidance and offers expert consultation and leads to implementation.
So what exactly are they doing?
So experts will give advice on how to save on taxes like capital gains, property, or acquisition tax. They'll also help owners figure out if a house needs to be repaired or torn down, suggest options for remodeling, and even estimate construction cost. Busan City said many homes are left empty simply because people don't have enough information to make decisions. And that's exactly why they started this project.
I see. Well, it does sound like they are trying to remove the barriers for homeowners. So thank you for letting us know about this one. All right, next, Busan is gearing up for the National Sports Festival with volunteers.
Yes. So yesterday, Busan City and Busan City Volunteer Center held a 2025 National Sports Festival and National Para Games volunteer inauguration ceremony at Sajik Indoor Gymnasium. About 2,500 volunteers took part, along with festival officials, citizens, Mayor Park Hyung-jun, and so on.
Yes, and what did the volunteers actually do during the games?
During the games, they were responsible for supporting the general situation room, opening and closing ceremonies, game operations, and stadium guidance.
Yes, and so this is kind of major, and obviously it's going to be in Busan, so we're very, very excited. So what happened at the launch itself?
The ceremony kicked off with entrance of flag bearers, followed by the opening declaration, resolution reading, then a special performance. Busan City said that it hopes this launch set the tone for volunteers to greet athletes and citizens warmly and make sure the festival runs successfully.
Yes, indeed. So that's coming up real soon. All right, next, let's talk about this. Busan is running a big youth pass event. What is this?
This event, this Busan City said, is holding a mega event for the Busan온나 Youth Pass. This event was designed to encourage young visitors from outside Busan to stay longer and enjoy Busan more.
Oh, so how does this exactly work?
During this period, the application rules are more relaxed to make it easier for young people visiting Busan to use it. Before, you had to stay at least one night to get the discount. Now, even day trippers can use it.
Oh, that sounds good. More appealing for more people. Anything else?
Yes, the city has doubled the support for partner business in the downtown area to help revitalize it. There's also a review event to encourage them to join in and come back again. And if you're from outside Busan and want to use the Busan온나 Youth Pass, you can simply apply on the Busan Youth Platform website, young.busan.go.kr.
So once again, that's young.busan.go.kr. All right, let's move on and talk about an event. I hear this is a big cycling event that's coming to Busan.
Yes, the 2025 Seven-Bridge Tour, a bicycle festival that runs across 7 sea bridges in downtown Busan, will be held on the 21st. About 3,000 riders from Korea and abroad have signed up.
Okay.
They'll ride either the 77-kilometer course or the 33-kilometer course. And along the way, they get to enjoy Busan's representative scenery, including the 7 bridges, the coastal line, Busan Port, and Nakdong River.
Well, walk us through the routes first. So what's the long one like?
The 77-kilometer course starts at Paexco and passes through Gwangan Bridge, Busan Port Bridge, Cheonma Tunnel, Eulsukdo Bridge, and Mekdo Ecological Park.
Okay.
And the shorter one, that's 33-kilometer course, starts at Paexco and goes around Cheonma Tunnel.
So we're talking about lots of cyclists, right? Safety must be of utmost concern.
Yes, so over 1,000 safety and security staff, police and firefighters will be stationed to prepare for any accident throughout the course. And for medical support, there will be around 40 medical staff, 15 ambulances, and 2 medical booths ready.
So is it safe to assume that the roads will be closed?
Yes, the relevant section will be fully or partially controlled, then reopen after the riders pass and safety checks are done.
I see. Well, thank you for giving us a wide array of all the local news, and we'll check in with you tomorrow. Thank you, Sajin.
You're welcome.
All right, I'll be back with your traffic and weather.
Good morning.
Good morning.
굿모닝입니다.
Good morning.
좋은 아침입니다.
Morning wave in Busan.
Morning wave in Busan.
Morning wave in Busan.
Major news, local buzz, and expert takes. It's all here on Morning Wave in Busan. Brighten up your morning commute with Morning Wave in Busan.
Morning wave in Busan.
It's now 7:17 on this Thursday morning. Let's talk about the road conditions out there. First up, there's an accident to report on. It's on the Dongsa overpass coming into the city. Right around the Chuda ramp, it has been cleared, but there is backup. It's congested on Chungjang-daero from pier number 5 to pier number 3. And it's backed up from the Mandok-daero intersection to the Namhae Expressway, Gupo-Nakdonggang Bridge. It's also slow on Pyeongno going away from the city right around the Wondong ramp. And the top portion of the Gwangan Bridge. It is backed up right now. Currently, it is 24 degrees under partially cloudy skies in Busan with sporadic rain or showers in parts of the city. You might have experienced it just a little while ago. The daytime high will go up to 26. And across the nation, cloudy with rain across the central and Gangwon regions as well as Jeolla and Jeju. This was your traffic and weather. It's time for Top Stories. We have Haley in the studio. Good morning.
Good morning.
I have a question. Besides, we get to the clock. Is it still raining outside?
No, it stopped finally.
stopped.
And then I
Okay.
stepped out. I took our little birdie's umbrella. I borrowed it from her. I didn't just take it from her.
Yes.
Yeah, and then it stopped raining. So that's good. That's
okay.
good. But it was a pouring. What did one of our listeners said? 한 바가지? Yeah, like buckets. Buckets of rain.
Yes, yes. Let's get into our text topic. We're talking about claw machines. Are you good at them?
No.
No?
So bad. I think I tried once or twice when I was in
Yes.
elementary school. Yes, we did have those back then. But I think they were like 1,000원 each per try. What is it now? 5,000원? I heard it's something ridiculous. Somebody let me know. Someone let me know. I don't know. I could have.
No.
This could
Some
be
of them are
misinformation.
misinformation.
Okay.
They're not
Okay.
all 5,000원.
All right,
There
all
are
right.
different ranges.
I see. Interesting. But because that's back in the day, that's when my weekly allowance was 1,000원. I was in the first grade. I put it in, and of course you it seems like you're gonna get it, and
Yes.
then those claws are so weak. And I was like, well, I'm not gonna waste my money on it anymore. Yeah.
True, but some people they're very keen on it.
Right.
And we're going to talk about this in hour
Right.
number 2. All right, we're going to jump into the ongoing trade negotiations between South Korea and the U.S. What's going on?
Right. So, of course, the broad framework has been agreed upon, but as they say, the devil is in the details, and those details are still under discussion.
Yes.
So, yesterday, top trade negotiator for South Korea, Yeo Han-gu, he's in the U.S. now, and he met with U.S. Trade Representative Jameson Greer in Washington, D.C. This also follows the meeting between Trade Minister Kim Jong-kwan with U.S. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick. But the detail that's being discussed right now is the specifics of that $350 billion investment package South Korea pledged to the U.S. So here are the two different sides. The U.S. is pushing for basically the same approach as it did for Japan, which is getting cash from South Korea in this case, with the U.S. determining where to spend it, where to invest the money, and it getting 90% of the profits. South Korea is of the position that is not feasible for us, given the negative impacts that would have on the treasury and the currency market.
Right. So the trade minister also spoke to reporters about this process, right?
Right. So Trade Minister Kim Jong-kwan, during a press briefing earlier this week, said that the negotiations are kind of in a push and pull process right now, and both sides are trying to reach a win-win result.
Yes.
He stated that the important determining point is how to set South Korea's relationship with the U.S. moving forward, but he did hint at there being difficulties, saying that he has met with Lutnick about 20 times, but that we are dealing with, quote, a new United States, not the one we knew from 10, 20 years ago.
I see. So, of course, we're going to continue to report on that story. Well, as of late, personal information hacking, a serious issue across many fields and major corporations. So let's get the latest on this front.
Right. So we have about 3 different companies we're going to be talking about. First is with 롯데카드. We previously discussed this hacking attempt into 롯데카드, which, by the way, has 9.6 million members. The card company, it's been looking into the extent of the damages. However, that scale might be far greater than previously estimated.
Okay.
So initially, at first, 롯데카드 reported 1.7 gigabytes of data leaked to the Financial Supervisory Service, or the FSS. However, this is apparently much larger. An official from the FSS said that possibly hundreds of thousands up to millions of users may have been impacted, and the results are expected as early as within this week, or actually, matter of fact, today.
Okay.
CEO of 롯데카드 Jo Ja-jin is expected to make that announcement along with a public apology later today. And an FSS report to lawmaker Kang Min-guk's office says that it seems that the leak information includes sensitive information like credit card information and online transaction requests.
Well, there's also scrutiny over the card company's biggest shareholder.
Right. So for industry insiders, another point to watch for is the fact that the biggest shareholder for 롯데카드 is the private equity firm MBK Partners. If this name rings a bell, that's because they are the owners of the grocery chain Home Plus.
Right.
And they're currently under investigation by the financial authorities and the prosecution for the financial issues going on with the grocery chain. So there have been comments and insights from insiders that MBK Partners maximize its profit margin and therefore possibly didn't make proper investment into information security.
I see. Well, that's Lotte, right? And let's move on to the KT and the micropayments issue. The police arrested 2 suspects behind this operation.
Right. So this was the mystery with these micropayments or 소액결제 involving KT users, all usually from the same neighborhood.
Yes.
So 경기 남부 Cyber Crimes Unit, they've been dealing with this as an integrated case, said that they've arrested a 48-year-old Chinese-Korean man for violation of the Act on Promotion and Information and Communications Network Utilization and Information Protection Act, and a 44-year-old, another Chinese-Korean man for computer-based scamming and violation of the Act on Regulation and Punishment of the Criminal Proceeds Concealment.
Okay.
So this first man, he's suspected of having allegedly driven around the capital area with that illegal small portable base station, the 초소형 기지국, to allegedly hack into the KT users' accounts to make these micropayments.
I see.
Which then could explain why they all came from the same neighborhoods. The second man is suspected of having allegedly cashed out these proceeds. So the police apprehended the first man at Incheon International Airport on his way back into Korea from China, and the second man in Yeongdeung-pogu district. The police also secured this illegal base station that the first man allegedly used.
So do we know how they got access to this information?
Well, now that we have the concrete, the physical base station, investigation will definitely pick up speed. And with the suspects in custody, the authorities will now be able to figure out how. And here's the key. Yes, they had a base station, but in order to make those transactions, you need another authentication step.
Right.
Personal information. So how did they get this personal information to bypass the authentication process? However, here's another mystery. The suspects, at least the 2 that have been caught, don't seem to at least have a background to have that kind of information. For example, history of having worked for telecom companies. So there's still a possibility of someone else having been the mastermind behind the whole operation.
Okay.
So the investigation team, therefore, will also look into any possible information vulnerabilities, not just involving KT, but the 2 other major telecom providers.
Yes. Testy times for those companies right now. So where are we on the whole SKT customer information leak information?
Right. So speaking of the other telecom companies, the Science and the ICT Ministry and the Korea Internet and Security Agency, KISA, they've launched an on-site investigation into SKT's data leak. So this follows claims by an international hacking organization, Scattered Lapsus, that it allegedly stole and is selling customer data from SKT. So this hacking group on the SNS platform Telegram said that it's selling a sample of 100 gigabytes of SKT customer data for $10,000. And this includes, at least they claim, what is customer ID, their names, phone number, email addresses, date of birth, and registration date.
Wow.
Which would be basically everything.
Yes.
Well, here's the thing. SKT says none of the information that the hackers claim to be from their site is true, and therefore has asked the police to investigate.
Well, amidst all of these, stories and cases of continued hacking and privacy concerns, the country is looking into boosting its private security.
Right. So the Ministry of Science and ICT said that it is working on mandating this 2-step authentication process for cell phone verification. So in Korean, that's 휴대전화 본인 인증 2차 인증 의무화. So this has been in the works and the talks since before the SKT hacking incident announcement back in April.
Okay.
However, the authorities may be expediting this given everything that's going on. So under the current system, these 소액결제, small micropayments, they require your name, date of birth, gender, and verification via the ARS, SMS, or the Pass app.
Yes.
However, the new system would still keep that in place, but add one more step. So that could be a PIN number, fingerprint, or facial recognition directly from your phone.
I see.
So the authorities say that this could prevent not only the security accidents, but also cases involving unauthorized payments in case one loses his or her phone.
I see. So once again, I hope we don't hear about these kind of cases because everybody's so on pins and needles about their information. We're going to move on though. Yesterday was the first day for train reservations for Chuseok.
Right. But the Korail website and app, they both crashed after reservations opened at 7 a.m. yesterday, and that was for the general public.
Okay.
And actually, the reservations were initially set to start on September 1st through the 4th. However, Korail had to postpone this by 2 weeks because of that fatal 무궁화 derailment train accident on August 19th. There had to be some reschedulings to the trains.
Yes.
Korail said that it took urgent measures to bring back the reservation in phases, but it's also currently looking into the exact cause.
I see. All right, for our final story in the news, I just announced to everybody, the U.S. Fed lowering its benchmark rate. So we're going to dig a little deeper into this issue.
Right, because a lot happened behind that figure, 0.25% rate cut, which is what happened, and that is the Federal Reserve's first rate cut this entire year. And as you said, the first one into the new Trump administration. But delving into the remarks that Fed Chair Jerome Powell made regarding the economic risk being tilted toward unemployment, the American job market has shown weaknesses. So job creation has been much slower than anticipated and expected. The overall unemployment rate in the U.S. stands at 4.3%. However, Powell said that the situation has been more alarming for people on the margins. So we're looking at minority unemployment. Remember that figure, 4.3% employment rate for the general public. However, unemployment for Black people stood at 7.5% in August. So that is more than a 3-point jump. And also younger people being more vulnerable.
Yes.
So the Federal Reserve officials put their projections at 2 more cuts this year, which would put the target range at about 4 to 4.25%. However, what's been happening behind closed door, the shadow of President Donald Trump has been seemingly among the board members, with the newest board member, Stephen Moran, who called for a bigger cut.
Well, speaking of the FOMC, let's look at the makeup, specifically 2 board members.
Right. So one whose new appointment makes President Donald Trump rather happy, and one whose court decision makes him significantly less happy. So let's look at the latter, Lisa Cook. We've covered her before, whom Donald Trump fired over housing fraud accusations. She apparently allegedly listed 2 primary residences to get favorable loans.
Yes.
But reports say that she didn't, so that's to be determined. But Cook has sued the administration to overturn this firing decision.
Okay.
And recently, a U.S. appeals court declined the request to fire Lisa Cook. So basically, she is back on the board, and she was for that rate-setting meeting. But what makes Donald Trump happy, he did get his pick for an empty seat approved by the Senate in a very narrow 48 to 47 vote, and this is Stephen Moran. So Moran is the sitting chair of the White House Council of Economic Advisors. So basically, he is a White House employee. The Fed is not an institution under the White House. He is taking an unpaid leave of absence to be on the board. But then this, coupled with some of his previous writings calling for less independence of the Federal Reserve, has some people on edge. So critics say that Moran's unprecedented plan to take this unpaid leave rather than resigning altogether is, quote, alarming, because he is technically still a White House employee who also happens to work for an independent organization. And that raises questions as to, well, how independent could that be? So when asked about this, Fed Chair Jerome Powell said that simply that the Fed is committed to keeping its independence.
Yes. Well, thank you for going over the top stories for hour number 1. And of course, we'll check in with you in hour number 2. Thank you, Haley.
See you in a bit.
We are ready for our first song break. So here is 내가 웃는 게 아니야 by Lee Sang. And I do believe it might have been a song request. But anyhow, we're going to play for you right now. Enjoy. I'll be back in a bit.
구석구석 빼곡히 써놓고 이제와 나를 망구석 여인처럼 남겨둔 채 방 한 구석 먼지처럼 나를 밀어둔 채 헤어지자 말하는 너의 뺨을 나도 모르게 때리고 내 발목을 잡는 땅을 억지로 뿌리치며 한참을 걸으며 다짐했어 다시 내 곁에 널 두지 않겠다고 여태 널 지키기 위해 했던 나의 노력 그 모든 걸 다 오려 저 달리는 차들 속으로 던지고 눈물 섞인 웃음을 짓고 어떻게든 너보다 잘 살 거라는 믿음 저 짙은 어둠 속에 새기며
내가 웃는 게 아니야 또 내가 걷는 게 아니야 너의 기억 그 속에서 나 눈물 흘려 너를 기다릴 뿐 내가 웃는 게 아니야 또 내가 걷는 게 아니야 너의 기억 그 속에서 나 눈물 흘려 너를 기다릴 뿐
며칠이나 지났을까 늦가을 쓸쓸한 거리처럼 물가에 홀로 앉은 낚시꾼처럼 외로움과 기다림에 지친 난 끝없는 줄담배에 기침을 하며 미친 듯이 추억 속으로 빨려들어가 애교 섞인 목소리에 꺾인 나뭇가지처럼 쓰러져 그녀의 품에 안기고 달콤한 꿈에 부풀어 영원히 나를 붙들어 매라며 농담을 하고 어디를 가도 누구를 만나도 언제나 둘이게 즐거운 분위기에 우린 항상 행복해 했었지 그랬었지 하지만 이제 그건 내 곁에 없지 난 또 외로움의 밤길을 걷지
그대 떠나보낸 내 가슴에 눈물이 차올라 날 흔들며 아프게 그대 떠나보낸 내 두 눈엔 어둠이 다가와 또 나
너를 잊을래 난 너를 잊을래 아무리 외쳐봐도 그게 안돼 너를 아껴주지 못해 또 후회하네 너를 잊을래 난 너를 잊을래 아무리 외쳐봐도 그게 안돼 네가 웃던 기억 속에 또 미쳐가네 내가 웃는 게 아니야 또 내가 걷는 게 아니야 너의 기억 그 속에서 난 눈물 흘려 너를 기다릴 뿐 내가 웃는 게 아니야 또 내가 걷는 게 아니야 너의 기억 그 속에서 난 눈물 흘려 너를 기다릴 뿐
너는 아픔에 모든 건 눈물을 흘려 코를 푸네
남자답게 웃고 싶지만
매 순간 멍해지는 습관 고쳐지질 않고
남자답게 웃고 싶지만
남자답게 난 웃고 싶지만 밥 한 숟갈 떠넣기가 이렇게 힘들 수가 날 위로하는 친구의 웃음도 내 눈에 슬픈 구슬로 바뀌어 웃으려 웃어봐도 안 되는 난 먼 곳으로
내가 웃는 게 아니야 또 내가 걷는 게 아니야 너의 기억 그 속에서 난 눈물 흘려 너를 기다릴 뿐 내가 웃는 게 아니야 또 내가 걷는 게 아니야 너의 기억 그 속에서 난 눈물 흘려 너를 기다릴 뿐
All right, everybody, for those of you who may have not known, it was raining earlier. It really was. So some people were mentioning, 오늘 비 왔나요? Yes, it was definitely rainy in certain parts of Busan. Today's next topic is about that claw machine. You know, the claw machine. You go and you pick your stuffed animal. It's quite popular in Korea these days, right? Especially among like young kids, plus adults. So the question posed to you today is, are you good at it? And how much have you spent on those claw machines? And we have some responses. Benny says this, that for me, I've never had a chance to play the claw machine and win a prize. So the reason being, I guess I only play video games. So he likes to spend his money on video games and not the claw machines. 태진님 says, 인형뽑기 소질이 없어서 기껏해야 현금 5,000원 썼는데 최근에는 현금 말고 카드 사용이 되더라고요. 오, so 아이도 있고 인형은 안 뽑히고. 어떡해요. Well, basically, in a nutshell, what he's saying is max spends maybe like 5,000 won, but he noticed recently that those claw machines take credit cards now. And the thing is this, it's not just adults that I've seen putting in the credit cards. Students these days, young kids, they have their own like check card or, cards that, their parents have made for them. I have seen kids putting in that card, and I've seen also kids like a fan of money, right? Meaning 이렇게 돈을 1,000원짜리를 이렇게 바꿔서 in the bill exchange machine, and then it looked to me like kind of showing off of like, oh, I have this much money. Like, I'm going to spend this much money and I'm going to get all the stuffed animals or prizes that I can get. So we're going to address that issue in hour number 2. But thank you for sharing. And I'm sure it's like sometimes nerve-wracking when your kid is like behind you and they're like, oh, Dad, 이거 뽑아주세요. Or maybe you're getting one for yourself or a loved one. But yes, it is a hot issue right now. For now, though, we're going to get to Ask Dr. Liu. It's time for Ask Dr. Liu. Good morning.
Good morning. Hi.
How are you?
Oh, doing great because yesterday was really muggy and really hot. But this morning when I woke up, the weather is really great.
Right.
Although it's raining outside.
But, right now I hear that it kind of has subsided, at least in Centum.
Yeah.
But in other parts, like I said in the weather forecast, it might rain on and off today.
Yeah, and also yesterday it was raining, local kind of a regional rain, and also there was sunshine, so I could see a beautiful rainbow.
Yeah, rainbow.
Yes, Gwangali Beach. Yes.
I have a question.
Yes.
Have you tried the
Of course.
Oh, are you good at it?
Yeah, I'm not good at it, but I saw YouTube. I saw a guy who's really good at, and then he spent a lot of money on doing that one, and also he figured out how the machine works. And then after trying several attempts, and then he kind of figured out how it works, and then he grabbed out every single doll out of this one.
You saw this with your own eyes, or you saw it on the internet?
On the internet. And also I looked it on the algorithm, and then I'm going to give you some tips how to be good at it.
Okay.
Please, for our listeners and audience. Okay?
Yes.
If you have something kind of one of those dolls that catches your eyes,
yes,
just stand by the machine and let people using that machine until they spend $15,000 or $20,000, $20,000, and then you try that one.
기다렸다가 after they kind of pile and get the 인형 like closer.
Yeah.
To the entry, the little hole, right?
Yeah, because the car isn't always at full power. This program to use is full power after maybe 10 to 20 attempts.
Really? I did not know that.
Yeah.
There's a strategy.
Okay, for those who are running this kind of business, I'm not gonna say it anymore. I'm gonna drop here.
Yes, we're gonna leave it there, and we're gonna go to.
I tried with my son, and of course, never failed. And also, I told my son like this. It's a very clever business strategy using your human psychology. So it might be really fun and give you some memory and my experience to dopamine rush.
Dopamine rush. Only from Dr. Liu.
Yeah, but you might spend 20,000 won in the end, but just get a single doll. What about think of it this way? If you were to have this kind of much money, would you rather do it again, or you want to spend it more kind of a productive way? Yeah, you know, buy that you want to buy, or you want to do what you want to do.
그냥 as our PD님 said, 그냥 인형 사면 되지 않을까?
That's right. But
그거보다 더 싸게.
For those who run this kind of business, you guys give us some kind of a pleasure and memory. Yeah, thank you. Anyhow.
근데 어떤 분들은 자꾸 술 먹고 또 하고 한대요. 어느 분인지 모르겠어요.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know who that is because it's not me.
The technical,
it's not Dr. Liu.
Yeah, technical term is frontal disinhibition.
There's a term for it. But today we're not talking about 인형뽑기. For our topic, for Ask Dr. Liu, what are we talking about today?
오늘은 soybean myth. 된장. Or
사이비.
두부.
soybean.
soybean.
I was like, wait.
You saw E?
soybean.
Yeah, soybean, soy. Yeah, soy.
Yes.
Sorry.
Uh-huh.
Soybean.
Uh-huh.
And there are a lot of myths like if you eat lots of soybean, you might have some kind of a serious side effects.
Oh, really?
So,
I love soybeans, and like soybean is the stuff in like things like dubu.
Yes.
Right? And then like the people might enjoy natto or like even 된장찌개 is called soybean paste, right? Or stew, right? So, why are these all these weird myths out there? And we're gonna break some of them, right?
Yes. The first of all, I've heard a lot about this one. If you eat lots of soybean, you might become a soy boy.
So, what? A soy boy?
Yes.
Like 남자 된다고요?
Soy boy means
what does
it's
it mean?
Lower your testosterone and makes men feminine.
Oh, really?
Because soy, one of the components of soybean is phytoestrogen. It has nothing to do with fighty. It's not FY. It's a PHYTO.
pH, okay, the phyto.
Yeah,
okay.
phytoestrogen,
Yes.
but it's an estrogen. But it's not the kind of estrogen that works on your body as for female for female. But that phytoestrogen is very, very minimal, very trivial. So if you're worried about that kind of estrogen works on your body,
yes,
it's like. Let's say that you eat tons of soy products every day. That soy phytoestrogen is so minimal and so trivial. It's like adding a drop in a water tank.
So it's. I mean, it's a myth. It is not true that if you consume a lot of soy, that it's going to turn you more like, feminine.
Not true.
Not true.
Yeah, in 2020, a study in reproductive toxicology looked at 38 studies and found that eating soy products and then it doesn't affect total testosterone level and estrogen level in men as well. So, and also it doesn't have any impact on sperm production either.
Okay. So for those of you who have heard of this myth, especially all the men out there like that might have been worried and staying away from the soy, it's not true.
No,
you can
not
enjoy
at all.
it. You can enjoy your tubus and all that, right?
That's right.
Okay. Next, what's another one that I've heard? That how about this one? That soy, if you maybe consume too much, might mess with your thyroid. Is that true?
Oh, it's totally not true.
Okay.
Some people say that one of the components of soy is isoflavone. That might interfere with thyroid hormone production.
Yes.
Especially in people with iodine deficiency. You got to remember this one. Especially those with iodine deficiency.
Yes.
In 2019, review in scientific reports found no significant thyroid issues from soy in healthy people with enough iodine.
Okay.
So who are those who with enough iodine?
Yeah. So
we Koreans. We have a lot of iodine we consume, like seaweed kim.
Okay. So we're in the clear. We're okay.
That's right. We're okay. And also, even those who have a little lower level of iodine, they don't have any problem with eating this kind of products.
Okay.
So
okay.
American Thyroid Association says that moderate soy consumption is rather safe. Even for those with hypothyroidism, it's totally okay.
It's okay.
Yes.
Okay, so we don't have to worry about, less testosterone or more estrogen. We don't have to worry about thyroid. What about in terms with breast cancer?
Yeah.
The link between soy and breast cancer.
Yeah.
Is there a link?
Yeah. Some people might say that, but it's totally myth.
Oh, that's untrue as well.
Untrue.
Oh, okay. Yes, I'm glad we're breaking these down.
That's
So we
right.
can, if it's healthy and we like it and we can enjoy it, right? And we don't have to worry about these things. So what about this? Why did this even come up?
Speaking of breast cancer, I
Yes.
can say tons of things because one of my friend's wife passed away with this breast cancer. And also breast cancer is the number one causing among younger generations. The prevalence and incidence is increasing dramatically.
Okay.
And not only because of this soybean, because rather soybean has projective entity, but because of our what is it called? 뭐라 그러죠? 환경 호르몬? Environmental
like
hormone,
yes,
and also obesity, obesity, and also processed foods and things like that. And obesity is a big issue because adipose tissue, adipose tissue is a fatty tissue that secretes estrogen. So that's why chubby people, a little bit obese male guy might tend to have gynecomastia. Gynecomastia is a female type of breast.
Oh, so, yes. So we, in English, for lack of a better word, I know it's not nice, but they call them like man boobs. That's what they're called. I mean,
man boobs.
It's not like a dirty word, but that's what they're generally called.
이거 정말 알아서도 중요한 건데요. 그래서 에스트로겐이 분비가 돼요. So the fatty tissue, adipose tissue secretes estrogen. That's why guys who are chubby or a little obese, they tend to have like a female type of breast.
I see.
So gynecomastia is a medical term referring to this condition. So the fear is because of the name, because phytoestrogen, it's an estrogen that's similar to estrogen, and of course it works on the receptor, estrogen receptor, but studies suggest that it might protect against breast cancer.
Okay. So, what about in terms of the whole dementia, myth? Is there any cause for us, to be concerned about soy consumption versus, dementia?
Now, dementia, well, I've never heard of it before preparing this show, but dementia, it has nothing to do with the soybean products. Rather, soy contains a lot of proteins and very nutritious amino acids. So it has nothing to do with dementia. Rather, many studies are saying that soy is more likely to be brain-friendly.
Oh. Okay,
it's a brain-friendly tofu.
I don't know. I love tofu or anything with soy in it, but I guess there are people out there who are not too keen on it. Are you a fan of tofu?
Yes, I really love it.
I like it in everything, all my stews and soups. I love adding it, but
Yeah, to be honest with you, I was really chubby when I was in high school.
Oh, really?
So whenever I walked on the street, I could see people staring at me because I was at that time, the chubby kids were not that rampant. So, and then I had some kind of inferiority because that's why I had a little bit of gynecomastia.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I do. So anyhow, so since then, I tried not to eat as much as soy products.
Okay.
But I couldn't resist it. So after preparing this article, I feel really relieved.
There's no link. And then we have a question.
Yes, Catherine.
궁금한 게 있대요. 고기 말고 두부만 먹어도 단백질을 충분하게 섭취할 수 있나요? So if you're not going to eat meat, but you eat a lot of, tofu or soybean products, is that giving you enough of, I guess, the protein?
Well, I haven't done any research on this one, but from my experience and from my knowledge,
yes,
soybean contains lots of protein.
Yes,
and a lot of vegan restaurants they serve meat, kind of a bulgogi made of soy products, but they might lack some kind of vitamin B12, some other vitamins. So that's why I recommend a balanced diet.
Okay. But in terms of the protein content, there might be, enough.
It might be okay, but some of the vitamins.
Other nutrients,
you're
saying.
Right.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you for answering that one. So if we had to wrap up and summarize, what would you say are the main takeaways from our discussion today about soybean?
Yeah, all about balance. Because if you're worried about dementia, use your brain as much as possible. And also listen to this show. If you're bilingual, if you study another language, the chances of getting dementia is almost zero. And also if you worry about breast cancer, some of the stuff, move your bottom and as much as possible. And then also, if you're worried about thyroid problem, well, in Korea, we eat lots of seaweed products. So anyhow, not only what you eat, you gotta watch out what you do, and also what you think, and that's more also important because our mental health is closely linked to our body.
Absolutely. Well, we can freely now enjoy soybean and soybean products, I guess, without worrying too much. So thank you so much for bringing this hot topic to our listeners, and we'll check in with you next week. Thank you, Dr. Liu.
Thank you.
All right, everybody. This was Ask Dr. Liu, and of course, we always love your feedback and questions as well. We're going to get to our final song for hour number 1. This is Devil by Super Junior. I'll be back in hour number 2.
지금 내가 하려는 말이 좀 이상할지 몰라 왜인지 넌 좀 어려웠어 난 늘 쩔쩔매니까 이토록 원하게 되고 Oh baby baby please don't go 당신 앞에 무릎 꿇는 것도 이 모든 게 너무 자연스러워 Hey 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 한없이 자꾸 애원하게 해 젠장 잠조차 못 자게 돼 도대체 감정이 뭔지 모르겠잖아 난 조금 뜨거워 대박 한여름 소나기 샤워 달궈진 온몸을 적셔 온 뒤에 그리고 또 못 타오게 하지 널 정말 사랑하게 속은 새빨간 전구의 그늘 한순간 그날 맛보게 하고 그리고 또 못 타오게 하지 넌 정말 뜨거워 어느 날만에 네가 외로울 때 내가 그 눈물 닦아줄게 부디 허락한다면 별은 운명을 던져 감저리저리 원게 됐어 온종일 갈구해 포탈만 해 모든 게 놀라울 뿐이야 어떤 수식으로도 부족한 로맨틱보다 좀 더 복잡한 도대체 이 감정이 뭔지 모르겠잖아 난 조금 뜨거워 대박 한여름 소나기 샤워 달궈진 온몸을 적셔 온 뒤에 그리고 또 못 타오게 하지 넌 정말 사랑하게 속은 새빨간 전구의 그늘 한순간 그날 때 맛보게 하고 그리고 또 못 타오게 하지 넌 정말 뜨거워 못 타오르는 다 적셔오는 맛 보고 싶은 그대야 들어줘 나는 그냥 다 좋아 나는 그냥 다 좋아 네 모든 게 다 좋아 네 모든 게 다 좋아 아름다운 너
안녕하세요. 현대해상 모델
캠페인은 행복도시 부산의 가치를 높이는 부산시설공단이 함께합니다.
혹시 지금 운전 중이신가요? 어린이 교통사고 피해자 수는 지난 3년 평균 약 9만 명. 특히 어린이 보호구역 안전기준이 강화된 이후에도 어린이 보호구역 내 사고는 지속적으로 발생하고 있습니다. 스쿨존에서는 반드시 시속 30km 이하 서행, 스쿨존 내 불법 주정차 금지, 차량 출발 전 앞뒤 좌우 살피는 습관으로 어린이가 안전한 도시를 만듭니다. 참, 운전 중 휴대전화 사용은 모두에게 위험합니다. 우리 모두를 위한 교통안전, 나부터 실천하면 모두가 안전해집니다. 어린이가 안전하게 뛰어놀 수 있는 부산. 아이 키우기 좋은 도시는 우리 모두의 미래이자 희망입니다. 이 캠페인은 어린이가 안전한 부산을 만드는 은행, BNK 부산은행과 함께합니다.
Welcome to Busan. Let me show you around. Here you can find the world's largest musical in-ground fountain and the world's only UN memorial cemetery. Stroll along the coast and explore the largest mountain fortress in Korea. As well as all this, there are so many tourist attractions, beautiful exhibitions, vibrant culture, convenient facilities, and delicious foods unique to Busan. With all the beauty and charm of the amazing city of Busan, you'll find yourself right at home in this ever-changing tourism paradise. So stay with us a while. Busan, your #1 tourist destination. Your home, away from home. This campaign is brought to you by BEFM, Busan 영어방송.
The time is now 8 o'clock.
It's now 8 o'clock. This is hour number 2 of Morning Wave in Busan. This is Spotlight News. Supreme Court Chief Justice denies political accusations. Supreme Court Chief Justice Cho Hee-jae categorically denied the Democratic Party or DP's accusations that he discussed President Lee Jae-myung's court case with former Prime Minister Han Duck-soo or any outsider in a statement yesterday. DP lawmaker Pu Seung-chan accused Cho of having met with former Prime Minister Han and others and said that the Supreme Court will take care of the president's election law violation case, inciting calls from the ruling party for the Chief Justice to step down. The opposition People Power Party or PPP criticized the DP's accusations as political manipulation and a crime that shakes up the constitutional order. Former Prime Minister Han Duck-soo has also denied meeting with Cho. President Lee Jae-myung and U.S. President Trump are likely to meet at Gyeongju APEC Summit. The acting U.S. ambassador to South Korea said that U.S. President Donald Trump is expected to travel to South Korea and meet with President Lee Jae-myung at the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation or APEC Summit in Gyeongju this fall. Acting Ambassador Joseph Yoon made the remarks at a conference on the Seoul-Washington alliance, adding that the two leaders had successful talks in August. This follows a comment from National Security Advisor Wi Sung-nak earlier in the day, who said he expects Trump to attend the APEC summit. No official confirmation has been made yet. Unification Church leader Han Hak-jae appears for questioning. The leader of the Unification Church, Han Hak-jae, appeared in front of the special counsel yesterday to answer questions on bribery allegations surrounding former First Lady Kim Gun-hee and People Power Party lawmaker Kwon Sung-dong. Han faces allegations of having colluded with a former church official to allegedly pass on 100 million won to PPP lawmaker Kwon Sung-dong asking him for the government's support in church matters and having allegedly given luxury goods to the former First Lady through the shaman Gunjin. In the meantime, the special counsel arrested former prosecutor Kim Sang-min for allegedly election influence peddling involving Kim Gun-hee's brother and a former land ministry employee facing bribery charges in the Yangpyeong Expressway deal involving Kim's family. Police arrest suspect in Jongmyo Shrine damage case. The police have arrested a man in his 50s as a suspect who allegedly damaged parts of the wall of the UNESCO heritage Jongmyo Shrine. The suspect allegedly broke 10 roof tiles on the outer west gate of the Joseon-era shrine earlier this week and faces charges of having violated the Cultural Heritage Protection Act. The authorities have repaired the damages to the shrine, which houses the royal ancestral tablets of deceased kings and queens. Fed lowers rates by 0.25%. The U.S. Federal Reserve has decided to cut its benchmark interest rate by 0.25%, marking the first rate cut in the new Trump administration, hinting at 2 more cuts this year. Speaking to journalists, Fed Chair Jerome Powell said that the balance of risks has tilted toward employment, whereas this risk had previously been tilted toward inflation. U.S. stocks closed mixed on Wednesday local time after the Fed's announcement. The stock market had rallied in recent weeks on expectations for a Fed rate cut, but the result wasn't enough to cause a major move with investors. And this was Spotlight News. It's time for Waggle Waggle. Haley's back.
Hello, hello.
All right, we're going to begin with the drought in Gangneung, where City Hall is under scrutiny yet again.
Right. So, by the way, we have been getting a lot of rain in Gangneung, which is very much welcome, but residents are still under restricted water supply. The Ovong Reservoir still at about 20% range, so they are getting 3 hours of water in the morning, 3 hours in the evening, and that depends on where they live, but most larger apartments are.
Yes.
However, according to reports, City Hall has enjoyed, shall we say, a free-flowing supply of water, giving itself exceptions to this rule. So here's the rule. All facilities with large water tanks of 100 ton or more, they are subject to this limited water supply, which includes 113 apartment complexes in the city, plus 10 large accommodations. So major hotels all fall under the category.
Okay.
Also, because of this, and we're talking not just showers, but toilets, because you do need water to be flowing to flush the toilets. And, well, with what's been going on, some residents have bought chamber pots.
Really?
For yogang, for example, because, well, you
can't flush.
You know, exactly.
Yes.
So large hotels also taking on the costs of giving refunds, at least for the sauna or swimming pool usage for the customers.
Okay.
However, Gangneung City Hall has a 566-ton water tank, so it's well over 5 times the threshold.
Yes.
But it apparently didn't put itself on the list of facilities that are facing water restrictions.
Okay. Well, City Hall is also under criticism for being slower in its voluntary water conservation measures, too.
Right. So City Hall, starting on September 8th, they started using disposables, so disposable plates, utensils to save water on having to do the dishes. And on the 10th of this month, stopped its water cooler usage, had employees bringing their own bottled water, and shut off water to the bathroom sink, the break room sink, and all that.
Yes.
Here's the thing. This is about 2.5 later after when private citizens began taking water conservation measures. So on August 20th, water levels at Obong Reservoir fell below the 25% mark.
Okay.
So, and residents began to do this because the city itself asked its residents to start taking these conservation measures. So as for why? Well,
Yes.
City Hall explained that it's because their building has a lot of people coming in and out for civic complaints and inquiries. So
Okay.
it's like a public building plus 1,000 employees. So they're saying it would have been too much of an inconvenience to the general public, whilst the general public has chamber pots.
I wonder what the public thinks.
Right. Well, there are comments that I couldn't
Can't
bring
say
in.
on air.
Yeah.
Right. All right. So, so in terms of Ulleungdo Island, which has been seeing significant drops in tourism.
Right. So to the extent that, of course, Ulleungdo Island, it's only accessible via boats and ferries. Well, 2 out of 3 passenger ferries or cruises going to and from Ulleungdo Island, they have suspended their operations. And this has led to residents and businesses complaining, asking for these ferries to resume operations.
Yes.
So while the county councils of Ulleung and Ulsan counties, they vowed to come up with measures, it's actually unclear whether bringing these back would be feasible because the dwindling number of tourists that are going to the island.
So how bad is the situation?
Right, so let's look at some numbers. Back in 2022, some 461,000 people visited the island. That went down to 408,000 the following year. And last year broke past that 400,000 mark to 380,000. And this year, from January to July, the figure has stood at only 209,000. The first reason is more people are going overseas with the pandemic being over.
Yes.
However, one issue that we cannot ignore is that the island has faced some scrutiny in terms of ripoffs and price gouging, as well as poor services, including that really fatty pork belly and
Incident,
some accommodations with like broken ACs in the heat of summer.
Right.
So the county has apologized for such low quality and high price issues. They've vowed responses, but some netizens are kind of saying, well, they've brought it upon themselves and kind of like, we'll see it when we we'll believe it when we see it kind of an attitude.
I see. So moving on to our next topic. This is very much in line with our text topic, claw machines. So what's so woggly about these machines?
You know, besides the part that they irritate me like no other when they just simply don't work. So yesterday was the National Day to Combat Gambling Addiction. 어제는 도박 중독 추방의 날이었습니다. So some education offices yesterday apparently sent their students home with the letters 가정통신문 warning of the gambling-like nature of these claw machines, 인형뽑기.
Okay.
So these notices say that while claw machines, they seem like harmless forms of entertainment and games, they do have various ways to kind of trigger gambling or speculative action. So, yeah.
Well, I have to ask, does it really?
Well, let me give you the short and the long answer. The short and the legal answer is no, at least under the current law. These claw machines, 인형뽑기 기계, they're categorized as forms of games that are deemed appropriate for all ages, and that's why they are in front of elementary schools. It's also, the reason is that they're limited in the prize and the money you can spend at least at once. However, when we delve deeper into the issue, some gambling experts do caution moderation because it could be kind of a gateway. It could trigger those gambling tendencies. So under the law, the Gaming Industry Promotion Act, these claw machines are categorized as entertainments. Prizes are therefore limited to things like school supplies, cultural prizes, so like stuffed animals, like animation characters. Sporting goods and everyday items. The prize must be worth 10,000 won maximum or below. And that's actually been raised from 5,000 won back in 2020 because of inflation. Because if it's over that, so if it has, for example, a phone, well, that's gambling. Right. So there are also strict laws. The prizes must be given via the machine. So the owner can't just come out and say, oh, here's your prize. Like you've like recovered an empty box. Here's the actual stuffed animal inside. And doctoring the machines to tamper with the difficulty levels is also prohibited. And this is therefore under the controls by the police agency and the Game Rating and Admissions Committee. So here's the government's position that even if there are violations violations of this. This is a violation of the gaming law, and it doesn't necessarily put that into gambling territory.
I don't know though.
Right.
Yeah, because I've seen kids that are like,
their eyes are
they're kind of
a
addicted.
bit crazed.
Yeah,
they have a crazed
look in their
because
eye.
it's so close.
Right.
Because here's the thing: if I miss it by a mile, and then move on, but they grab it and then they drop it.
Exactly.
And then you're like, well, the next time I'm going to be able to get it. So here's where addiction experts stand on this issue, including those, by the way, at the Gambling Prevention and Treatment Center under the Culture Ministry. They say that there are some machines that manipulate the chances, whether wittingly or unwittingly, of getting the prizes. So here's the thing. The game of chance, that uncertainty, the 확률 game, and addictive qualities do pose gambling-like aspects. In Korean, we call that 사행성. So you yourself have to know someone that's spent quite a bit of money, or maybe you've done that yourself, as some of our listeners are saying. So experts say that maybe for adults, not all adults, they have the judgment to make that call.
Right.
But especially for children, that can be risky.
No, I absolutely agree. I have seen kids like in my neighborhood, if you go, and like their eyes are glazed over and they have that look. And even souvenirs saying 모든 눈 돌아가는 순간 중독이라고 봅니다. Basically, when you have that kind of fervor, that look, that kind of fiendish look in your eye, it could be an addictive type of kind of
gateway, a sign. Yeah.
So anyhow.
So let's be aware.
Oh, yes.
You know, setting like limits, like, okay, you can maybe do it for 3,000원, or if it's still 1,000원, I don't know.
Yeah, like some of the places are
3 to 5 times, but then after that, we're going to call it quits. Yeah. I don't know.
It's difficult to say no. All right, let's go to our final story. We're going to talk about this police officer who saved a driver.
Right. So according to Seoul Police, they received a call from a driver on this bridge, Gayangdaegu, on Olympic Expressway. So a very, very crowded, massive road around 4:21 p.m. on August 30th. So this is, again, in the middle of the afternoon.
Okay.
Lots of traffic. Saying, help, there's something wrong with me. There's something wrong with my body.
Oh.
Right.
Okay.
So this driver in his 60s suddenly felt something a little off, like chest pains, and he had to stop his car in the middle of the road on the first lane and called the police for help. So Officer Lee Seung-jae of the Traffic Safety Department, he sensed that this was an emergency, and he was actually quite close. Here was the thing. There's the car that was stopped, but the officer's patrol car was ahead of it.
Oh, ahead.
So, I mean, he couldn't very well back up into traffic. So instead of finding a U-turn sign to turn around, he too, the officer too, stopped his car and ran. Which could have been dangerous. Again, Olympic-daegu is one of the biggest roads in the country. It's a massive highway, but the officer ran some 200 meters, waving his arm and making sure that he was seen by oncoming traffic. So this driver had chest pains and dizziness. The officer wound up having to drive the man's car to an emergency room, and the doctors were able to work on it. We don't exactly know what his condition was, also privacy, but the man said that he was even thinking about while he was waiting, like, should I record my last will and testament. It was that bad. However, when he saw the officer run towards him, he just felt like everything was going to be okay. And the officer, of course, said, well, I was just doing my job.
Oh, but
we know
beyond.
this is more than that.
Yes. Well, great to end it on a good story today. So thank you for that. And of course, we'll check in with you tomorrow. Thank you, Haley.
Have a great day.
All right. Let's get to your updated traffic and weather. It is now 16 past the hour. Let's get your traffic update. First up, there is a car that is broken down inside Gyeja Tunnel on Jeongwan Sanop-lo from Jeongwan to Hwaedongdong. Also, it's backed up on Gwanmundaero from Pangnam Tunnel to Baegang Tunnel. There's also backup on the Dongso Overpass from Hwangryong Nadelmok to Kaegum Shimto. And there is a cargo truck that has broken down on the Namhae Expressway to Suncheon Dongkimhae IC. And there's another car that is broken down on Gwangan Bridge going toward Haeundae on the Namcheon ramp, so that's causing some backup. As for the weather, it's currently 24 degrees under partially cloudy skies here in Busan with sporadic rain in parts of the city. The daytime high will go up to 26 today. Across the nation, cloudy throughout with rain across the central and Gangwon regions, as well as Jeolla and Jeju. This was your traffic and weather. And we're going to take a short song break. This is 네 생각 by 존박.
아침에 눈을 뜨면 네 생각이 나 창밖을 바라보다 네 생각이 나 그렇게 멍하니 또 하루가 흘러가 너도 날 가끔씩은 떠올릴까 네 생각이 나 어느새 내 주변의 모든 건 익숙한 향기로 너에게 물들어 화초에 꽃이 피어 네 생각이 나 예쁜 걸 볼 때마다 네 생각이 나 내 취향은 아니지만 네가 좋아하는 그 노래만 하루 종일 흥얼거려 네 생각이 나 사랑이 내게도 찾아왔나 봐 주변의 모든 건 처음 보는 색으로 내 맘처럼 피어나 부르던 하늘에 무지개 빛이 나 갈라진 골목길도 모네의 그림 같아
This is your special interview. According to South Korea's Education Ministry, the rate of school violence in elementary, middle, and high schools has risen to its highest levels since 2013. Among students, elementary school children showed the highest victimization rate. And by type, verbal abuse remains the most common, followed by things like ostracism, 왕따, physical violence, and cyberbullying, with ostracism and cyberbullying showing a slight increase compared to last year. Today, we hope to gain some insight and learn about how parents, schools, and communities, how we can make a difference. Joining us today is Professor Scott Poland, professor in the College of Psychology and the director of the Suicide and Violence Prevention Office at Nova Southeastern University. Hi, welcome to the program, Professor.
Thank you very much, Catherine.
Yes, so to begin, could you explain what school violence is, what it encompasses?
Well, for the most part in the U.S., school violence has really involved much more physical things, which would be pushing, shoving, fighting. Unfortunately, as I think most of your listeners are aware, we have a significant problem with school shootings in the United States.
Right. And so in terms of like technology, Professor, though, including maybe things like AI, have the patterns in school violence been changing at all, or have they remained the same?
Well, our school shootings, for example, have been relatively constant over the last couple of decades.
Okay.
However, there's a lot of concern now that certain social media websites are encouraging school shooters. There's a fascination that shooters have with those that have previously committed a school shooting. But a couple things surprised me about looking at that data.
Mm.
In the US, bullying is clearly the biggest problem at the middle school level. And generally, we have separated bullying from school violence, with school violence being more physical. And certainly, bullying and cyberbullying is a significant problem in schools around the world. But I think here we have really looked at them separately.
So a different way of looking at things, obviously the U.S. versus other countries, including South Korea. So if I do focus in on cyberbullying, Professor, you mentioned how that might be kind of separate from the physical, I guess, behavior in the U.S. But still, I feel like it's still quite serious, cyberbullying or, just verbal abuse. How serious might it be, though?
It definitely is a very significant problem. And the things that are posted online, for example, are much more hurtful. They're meaner than most things that are said in person. And the other challenge, sometimes a school official might say, all right, one thing was posted online. Bullying by definition must be not only nasty, but repetitive. And then my response, having worked full-time in schools for many years, is that, but other students added on to this.
Yes.
18 students approved of this. Maybe the greatest challenge is how do we reduce it? And the bottom line is, I believe strongly that all that technology is a privilege for children. It is not a right. And parents need to demand to know passwords, know the sites their children visit, look at the communication that they are sending to others. There's actually a favorite app that I really like, and I believe it should be on the devices of young people.
Okay.
It's Rethink Words. And the idea is that if that app is on a device, it really detects the mean, harmful statements, and the person gets a message. Is this really what you want to say? And there's other great data that they either change the message or they do not send it.
Interesting. I love the concept behind this type of app, making you rethink your words literally before it's sent to somebody else. I feel that sometimes it does seem that students and even adults, that they feel kind of brazen or emboldened by the fact that they're, saying something online or posting something online versus saying it straight to your face. What do you think, Professor?
I agree with you that the anonymity of it, maybe even trying to get attention from other people online. And I'm sorry to report that sometimes those that are the bullies actually receive kind of like some social status. And that's really unfortunate. And I think the biggest thing is really that preventing bullying.
Yes.
Really, it's not something one classroom teacher can do. It needs to be school-wide. And it needs to involve students. It needs to involve bystanders who basically say, this isn't the way we want to treat people here. We're not going to laugh. It also involves school staff being very involved, parents being very involved, because we need community, parents, school, staff, and students all working together about, frankly, what is a worldwide problem.
Yes. And so when we talk about schools and, fellow students, your peers that have to be involved in this, schools can put up policies, they can have education on bullying and things like that. But what if, the students, they find some sort of enjoyment or they find, some sort of pleasure out of ostracizing another student or, kind of ganging up on a certain student? How do we deal with that?
Well, in particular, it's the girls that often engage in what we call relational bullying, which means talking behind somebody's back, excluding them. Boys are much more upfront, in your face.
Right.
So, and sadly, sometimes we actually have some moms in the U.S. that are somehow involved in actually encouraging, their daughters to be mean to other girls.
Yes.
And this is where we really need everyone involved. And, and the bottom line is school staff and parents, we can't pretend that we didn't hear it or see it. We really need to respond immediately. We need to have consequences for the bully.
Yes.
We need to let bullies know that these consequences will escalate if you keep this up. We are not keeping this a secret. All the other adults are watching, and we need support for the bully, as well as wondering if there are situations in their life that are causing them to behave this way. But also, we need to let those that are the victims know, you do not deserve this. We are going to work to get this stopped. Please let us know if this bullying continues. Sadly, sometimes the student will say to me, if you get bullied enough, it's like you think you deserve it. And no kid deserves this.
Right.
And I want to commend your Department of Education for surveying, finding the extent of this problem, and the data that you have at the elementary level.
Yes.
I've been actually really hopeful. The more we work on it at the elementary level, and the more we stop the verbal harassment and the ostracizing, then that's going to make, for a positive trend, and we'll have less of it at the middle school and the high school level.
Great point that you make, Professor. I do want to go back to what you were talking about parents and families and the role they play in shaping and molding our young people, because in my personal opinion, I believe it does begin in the home. What kind of environment you have, what you're kind of learning from your parents or guardians in their behavior and how they treat other people. So what can families do to better protect, support, and also to set good examples for their children?
There's a quote I like. What we do speaks so loudly to our children that when we try to talk to them, they cannot hear us. So please know that children are watching their parents.
Yes.
How do they treat each other? How do they treat the neighbor? How do they treat, other people around them in the neighborhood and workplace? And so hopefully everybody is treating others with kindness and respect, because that is really critical. And at the simplest level, I recommend that schools form a task force to work on, whether we want to call it bullying prevention, school safety, school violence prevention, really it's almost all lumped together. But we welcome the input from staff, students, and parents. Together, how do we approach this problem? And, when a student doesn't feel safe at school, or when they've just been verbally harassed in the hallway, it almost doesn't matter how good the instruction is, because their mind is on, they don't feel safe, or they just got, terribly humiliated. So doing something to help students feel safe is kind of the cornerstone of providing an optimal learning environment.
Yes. Well, this brings us to the conclusion of our discussion today, but I do want to thank you so much for providing your insight, your expertise, and opinions to our listeners and viewers today. And take care, Professor. We appreciate your time.
Thank you. It was my pleasure.
This was Professor Scott Poland, and we talked about school violence. As he pointed out, every country is very distinct, very different. In the U.S., they do probably worry a little bit more about physical violence and gun violence than other types of violence. It's here in Korea. Obviously, we don't have as many guns or anything like that, but we do have, as he said, things like cyberbullying, just, the verbal abuse and the harassment, the ostracizing that really does need to stop. And it begins at home, and it also continues into the school environment and also educators as well. We're going to take a short song break. This is 혼자라고 생각 말기 by 김보경. We'll be back in a moment.
포기하지 않기 포기하지 않기 어떤 힘든 일에도 늘 이기기 너무 힘들 때 너무 지칠 때 내가 너의 뒤에서 나의 등을 내줄게 언제라도 너의 짐을 내려놓아도 된다고 혼자라고 생각 말기 힘들다고 울지 말기 너와 나 우리는 알잖아 네가 나의 등에 기대 세상에서 버틴다면 넌 내게 멋진 꿈을 준 거야 성급하게는 생각하지 말기 정말 잠이 올 때면 그 자리에 기대어 너무 지친 네 몸을 잠시라도 쉬게 해줘 혼자라고 생각 말기 힘들다고 울지 말기 너와 나 우리는 알잖아 햇살이 참 좋은 날에 그런 날에 하루라도 또 다른 우리가 되어볼까 오늘과 다른 내일을 기대하며 멈춰설 수는 없어 혼자라고 생각 말기 힘들다고 울지 말기 너와 나 우리는 알잖아 네가 나의 등에 기대 세상에서 버틴다면 넌 나의 지지 않는 꿈을 준 거야 우리라는 건 네가 힘이 들 때에 같이 아파하는 거
BEFM Morning Wave in Busan Fall Outdoor Special Stage. Fall for English-friendly Busan. What does it mean to live in an English-friendly Busan? And what role does English play as Busan rises as a global hub city?
올 가을 여러분에게 영어하기 편한 도시 부산으로 가는 길을 안내합니다.
This fall, on September 27th, Saturday at 3 p.m., join us for a special outdoor stage event at F1963 Open Square, featuring a thought-provoking panel with a professional English educator, Lee Bo-young, British broadcaster Peter Bint, K-pop idol Aaron, and me, Catherine. Plus, enjoy a special live performance by Busan's English-friendly city ambassador Kim Jo-han and singer-songwriter 커피 소년. BEFM Morning Wave in Busan Fall Outdoor Special Stage. Fall for English-friendly Busan.
9월 27일 토요일 오후 3시 F1963 오픈스퀘어에서 여러분을 기다립니다.
It's time for Buzz Breakdown. Guess who's here?
Buzz Lightyear.
Buzz Lightyear?
Brown year.
You have a kind of a buzz going on too.
Do I?
Like on the sides at least.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
White buzz. White fuzz.
How are you, Vasana?
I'm good. I'm happy.
Text topic time.
Yes, what's the text topic?
The claw machine. You know the claw.
Oh my
Yes.
goodness,
Are you
one
good
of my
at
favorite
it?
movies.
Are you good at it?
Oh, that?
No.
My son loves it.
The
when he
machine?
was a baby.
Ah.
The machine? You mean
Yes.
the game thing?
The 인형뽑기, the game.
Yes. No,
Yes.
I hate that.
Why?
It takes all my money. I might as well just
take all your money.
Just put the money in and not even play.
But some people are really good.
My wife is
is she an expert?
Excellent.
Excellent. Like how good?
If
I invested like 3,000 won, would she be able to get something
Yes.
for me? Oh, really? That good?
She'll be able to get you a cuddly toy or whatever they call
Really?
it. Yeah. No, she is. I don't know how she does it.
But she's good.
But she's good. I will spend 20, 30,000 won and get nothing. So I usually go on if we go to a carnival, I usually go to the shooting things because
You're good at shooting.
apparently I'm good at shooting.
But not
not gun
picking.
violence.
No. We don't condone any kind of gun
that.
violence,
No,
right?
no.
All right, let's dive into Buzz Breakdown. What do you have for us?
So this week I thought I would go through some Korean words or Korean terms that have come from English, but I didn't realize it was from English. I knew it was English words. They were English words, but I'd never heard about them.
Until you heard
I
them
read
here.
it in Korea or heard it in Korea on the news or on the newspaper or whatever. So the first word is omnivore consumer.
Omnivore. What,
Oh, you
okay.
haven't even heard this in Korean?
Well, I know what it is, like looking at the English words, but I mean, what is it? What does it mean,
So
though?
the 소비자,
소비자.
omnivore 소비자.
In Korean.
So everybody knows what a carnivore, not everybody.
Okay.
A carnivore.
Let's go slowly. So
Let's go slowly.
carnivore, not
Carnivore.
carnival 말고 carnivore.
Carnivore.
That means
A person
someone
who eats cars.
meat. 고기. Yes.
죄송합니다.
A meat eater. On the
okay,
other
good.
side, we have
Herbivore.
yes.
Which is a non-meat eater.
Right, meaning
They
like
eat vegetables.
plants. Yes.
So an omnivore is someone who eats everything.
Yes.
In both meat and plants. So in business, an omnivore consumer
Is
as a person who mixes different brands and styles.
that's what that means.
Freely. So it doesn't. I'll go on to explain it.
Okay.
So for example, a luxury watch
Okay.
with I can't say brand names here, can I? With fast fashion clothes, like fast food, fast fashion.
So like
cheap clothes.
엄청 비싼 시계, luxury 시계, and then you're wearing like fast
$5
fashion.
shirt, $5 t-shirt or something.
Okay. I get it.
So
That's an omnivore consumer.
Omnivore
like mixing
consumer,
it up.
mixing and matching. So I looked it up on the interweb. When I
Okay.
was young, we called it the interweb, not the internet.
You're so old. No, I'm just kidding.
I am so old. And this term was actually coined in 1992.
Oh.
By Richard Peterson. The term he most commonly used was cultural omnivore.
Oh.
But he also, in the same paper, he also used omnivore consumer.
Sure.
This goes back to a French sociologist, Bordeaux, but I'm going to bore you if I go back with that.
Let's go.
So let's go back to the topic. So basically, it's a person, as you said before, who likes things from different brands, from cheap to expensive.
Right.
And in this paper, it was from different social classes.
Oh, okay.
So, for example, it's not just clothes.
Okay.
It's everything. So, for example, a person who goes to classical concerts to listen to somebody play a piano concerto
Okay.
would not usually go to a Metallica concert. So, an omnivore consumer would go to both.
Oh, and enjoy it probably.
And enjoy it.
Yes.
Like I
get
would.
it.
Like I would. So I'm just wondering, are you an omnivore consumer?
Well,
And I wonder how many of our listeners are omnivores. Omnivore consumers.
I would think. I think I am in a little way, like in terms of like, especially with clothing and fashion and stuff.
Yes.
I like to mix things up. I don't go like head to toe all luxury and all designered out or anything.
Yeah.
But I might have a nice like bag.
I was
But I'm
going to
wearing
put you on the
jeans.
spot and
No.
say-
Like I'm wearing a nicer jacket on top today. I won't give you the brand name,
Yeah.
but I'm wearing jeans on the bottom.
Okay.
So I feel like I'm kind of doing that right now.
Same here. I mean, you can see what brand I'm wearing, but
Oh, okay.
yeah.
I love how you
Look
show
at me.
leaning in a little.
I'm gonna shimmy.
Okay.
But I'm wearing $50 jeans as well. But my shoes are pretty expensive because they're nice and comfortable. But my socks are $5.
So there's a good mix going on.
Yes, I won't go any further than that. But yes, other things, literature as well. And so it's from different classes.
Yes.
The paper was about different classes do different things.
I see.
So usually upper class goes to classical
music.
Concerts.
Yes. But not so
class.
if you're an omnivore consumer.
Correct.
Okay.
Okay, so the next one, should we move on?
Sure.
Okay, the next one is topping economy.
Topping economy.
Yeah,
what is
topping
this?
economy. So just like adding toppings on pizza or coffee.
And pineapple is not a topping, right?
According to me, no.
Yes.
But I was told by many of our listeners it's fine.
Okay.
As well as potatoes and shrimp and other things.
You look so bothered. Okay. Okay.
But anyway, so just like adding those toppings, consumers want to personalize everything. So we add extra features, extra designs, extra flavors. So, for example, a smartphone case, which I do have, but it's more. No, it's not for fashion because it's black.
It's black. I have an
no
example.
stickers on it.
I have an example from this morning.
Sure.
Somebody on our staff wanted to treat other members to, coffee or whatnot.
Yes.
And then, so the orders were being taken.
Oh, God,
Orders were being taken.
I know where this is going.
No, but it was just like, can I get, an iced latte? But and then
hold the
this or like less of this or add this. Like, I mean, that's become our culture,
please.
though.
Yes.
Like in terms of being very specific.
Yes.
Because like some of you might have dietary concerns, like your body can't handle this.
Yes.
Or like maybe you have a hangover and you're like, I can't handle this right now. Right. Yes. So
this phrase appears to be a term coined by a Korean ecologist. From Seoul National University, Kim Do-ran, and I found this in their book in the Trend Korea 2025.
Yes.
So there are other terms that describe this phenomenon.
Yes.
Phenomenon. I think we usually call this customization. But this term, topping economy.
I like it.
Yeah. So it's a cool term.
Can you read Korean, Vasana?
A little bit.
Oh, no. Okay. I was going to have you read it, but I'll read it. Okay. 저는 라떼 주시는데 저지방 우유를 바꿔주시고 샷은 1.5샷 주시고 바닐라 시럽 펌프 한 번 해주시고 얼음은 딱 8개만 넣어주세요.
1.5 아니야? 1.5.
I know it was Vasana would be probably like spit. No.
I
me add a
would
little
never
extra.
do that. Some
you're so terrible.
Some sprinkles.
Aw. No, we would never do that.
No,
right?
we would never do
that. Last part was just, we're completely kidding. But topping economy, I like this term.
Yes, it's a cool term. And at the moment, I searched the internet, interweb, for all these to see where it was from. And it looks like it's a Korean term from Seoul National University.
Yes.
So companies love one size fits all.
Yes.
And what has she written now?
She's saying 앞으로 바사나가 사주는. By the way, Vasana's so generous with her coffee. Like 주는 커피 안 마시네. Our producer's not gonna.
I do not do. I was just joking. 뻥이야, 뻥. 농담.
못 믿겠어요.
Anyway, so companies love one size fits all because it's cost effective.
Yes.
But we love to be individuals.
I don't like the whole one size fits all. One size does not fit all. I'm sorry, did I say that too loud?
Say it again. Say
One
what you
size
really
does
feel.
No. When I first came to Korea, everything like not at 백화점, but if you go to streets,
goodness,
everything
got a
is
funny
one.
story.
One size does not fit all. You know it's not true, right?
Yeah.
And everything's short.
I went to the market and they said, this T-shirt is one size fit all. And I said, but I want 2XL because I'm not that small. She said, no, it'll fit you. So I bought it, went home.
And it was tight, right?
It was really tight.
Yeah. The one size does not fit all.
One size does not fit all.
Yes.
Okay, so we love to be special, unique.
Yes.
Yeah. So cell phone cases, stickers on my son's shoes. What is it? The shoes, these rubber shoes, the shoes I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah, the ones that doctors wear.
Yeah.
We can't say the brand name.
They stick stickers on them. Anyway.
Yes.
Yeah, etc.
All right. Let's move on to the next word.
Okay, the next word is fire.
Fire, like
this one I learned when I was younger, but it wasn't really popular and it's coming back because of another word. So let's say that one first. FIRE. This stands for financial independence, retire early.
Oh, I like fire.
You didn't learn that when you were younger? No, okay. So when we're young, we say, I want to fire. I want to be a fire. I want to fire, whatever you said. So people save and invest so they can stop working when they're young. Because when you're old, you can't really enjoy your money. I want to go on this Ferris wheel or I want to go on this.
Okay, in theory.
Up.
Vasana. Okay. So fire, financial independence, retire early. So what's related to this one?
Okay, related to this, many people are now N-jobbers.
N-jobbers.
N-jobbers. I don't know why they call it M-jobbers, but they should call it M-jobs. But these are multi-jobbers.
Uh-huh.
So
it means because to the nth degree.
Correct.
That's why.
So
yes,
N is a mathematical term, not N standing for multi.
Yes.
Got the giggles. People with more than one job.
Yes.
Kind of like us. So maybe office work plus online things, freelancing. So I haven't been able to pinpoint who coined this word.
Yes.
Or these words, but they are trending at the moment in Korea.
Oh, definitely.
And there are a lot of N-jobbers in Korea.
Yes. So let's go review real quick and then I got to let you go. So.
Yay. Oh, sorry. So first one is omnivore consumer.
Yes.
Yeah, person who likes mixing and matching things, expensive things, cheap things.
That's
Topping
right.
economy, like putting pineapple on pizza. And customization, basically.
Yes.
And the last one is N-jobbers and fire.
All right. Well, thank you for going over these really interesting terms.
Thank you.
And we'll check in with you next week.
감사합니다.
Oh, don't do that. Okay. Thank you, Vasana. Thank you, Vasana. And it's time to wrap up today. But before, excuse me, I let you go. That's from all the laughing. Vasana made my voice hoarse, my throat hoarse today. I have a couple things that I need to get out to you. First up, I want to tell you about an SRT train departing from Busan and passing through Gyeongju Station collided with some sort of external object this morning at 5:35 a.m. I know that was a while ago, but SR said that the train's obstacle controller was damaged because of this accident. Some 190 passengers on board had to transfer to a different train, and so the subsequent trains on the Gyeongbu line have been delayed. So if you are experiencing any type of delay, that is why today. So extra patience is what is required. And thank you for tuning in today, for chiming in, and also for laughing along with us. That's all. You know, we are all about information and entertainment at the same time. Well, how about another song by John Park? Because like the other one was so good, and then we had to cut it a little short. So this is "Falling" by John Park. Enjoy. Bye, everybody.
하얗게 번지는 머릿속에다 그대를 새겨놓고 저 멀리 날아가 모든 게 보이는 두 눈을 감고서 시간을 되돌려서 날도 너무 아팠던 날도 이제 돌이켜보면 그저 그랬었나요? 아니란 말해요. 멍든 가슴도 멍해진 내 마음도 다시 느낄 수만 있다면 Falling 나만 있네요.
Your best choice. BEFM, Busan 영어 방송.
English with
부산